Hi friends, welcome to another video, Mixed Media Styrofoam Head. I'm doing this 30 days of using paper napkins, and I wanted to use this paper napkins on this styrofoam head. I was going to paint the whole thing, or cover the whole thing, but I decided to paint the face. I couldn't put paper napkin all over her face. So what I put on her face is this DecoArts magic coat, and it's for styrofoam, so you can actually paint over it. So it says put 2 or 3 coats on and you can paint over styrofoam. And I put 2 coats on of this, and I put it through all over the head just in case. I was just going to put it in the front, but I thought, well, just in case. I don't know how far her wrap's going to go, and that is the part of my challenge of putting the paper napkin on the styrofoam, was the wrap. I had an image to put a wrap on. So I'm using my premium paints because I'm treating this as a canvas. So now I got this on, this coat stuff on, and I'm treating it just like a canvas. So the brown colors that I am using today for her face, and I gotta layer it up a bit, is raw umber, burnt umber. I also use Dome gold hue for the reddish highlights, and burnt sienna for her facial colors, and I just blend those, and some black, and the black is carbon black in the premium DecoArts premium tubes of paint. So you can see that I'm using those premium tubes, and I just love using them. And like I said, I was treating this as if it was a canvas. It was a little, of course, the canvas is cloth with the gesso, and it grabs on a little bit better. I'm not sure if I would have added gesso, if it would have, I would have had to go over it so much. So it was a kind of a test. But at the end, I was pleased that I went with these colors, because I think these colors are just a little bit different than the craft paint from DecoArts, and I just kind of like making it, I don't know, just a little bit that much better with the tones and the colors and stuff. So I'm trying to go with the flow of her face with the painting. And I was like, what am I going to do? Why am I picking such a hard thing? But I was looking for styrofoam, and the challenge today, or the theme, was styrofoam today, and I was looking for any spheres or eggs or anything, and I couldn't find any, and I did not want to buy anything. For her lips, I put yellow oxide on her lips. I put some on her eyes too, because I wasn't sure if I was going to have her eyelids closed or open. So I decided to lighten that up and kind of have the eyeball part a little bit more where I can see it while I'm painting. So then I continue with the brown. Here I'm using one or the other of the Cordacadone gold. I think that's the one I'm using, hue, for the brightness on her forehead and on her nose and on her cheeks. I decided to put the white on her eyes, or I decided to make them open. See how that worked? I used the titanium white for her eyes, and then I put some on her lips. Wasn't sure at that point how anything was going to work with this. So here I am putting a little black on her eyes, and then I'm like, I'm just going to make a big brown first. So mixing the black and the brown together is kind of not looking, I didn't dry in between. And also too, with the styrofoam, you don't want to dry very much, just a little bit of an air dry. So here I'm painting her eyelids right halfway, and it's a hard thing to film over the eye part that I had whitened. So it was like a smoky, sleepy, sexy eye. But yeah, I painted her eyelid halfway over after I painted the eye color, the eyeball, the eye dark of the eye, not just the black but the whole eye color. And then I continue getting her hair, her face, and I wish I would have been in there a little bit more. I didn't realize how forward this was a little bit difficult, and with the sheen, it was a difficult piece to record. But I'm putting a little bit more black and brown, just showing you guys on towards the back of the head, under the chin, under the jawline, kind of going into the little bit of the cheek where we hollowed out like with thin cheeks, and a little around the mouth piece, around the nose a little bit. Eventually I'm getting there. And it's wet paint, so I'm starting to wipe paint away so that I could kind of be careful. I can't dry too much. I'm getting a little darker brown and black in around the eyes. I'm leaving her nose alone because I want it to stay very red like that. I tried to put a little bit of white on it at some point, and then I had to refix that because I'm like, nope, highlight's not going to work like that. And I wanted her to look more human, not... It was a little bit of a learning curve with doing it on the styrofoam rather than on the canvas, but I think it worked out. It took me a while to paint this. That was the longest part of it. So I'm adding more of the, there you go, the highlights, the red, and I really need to get a better lighting system. The way my camera's hanging on my light, it is not helping me. So I'm making more of the cheeks, the reddish brown colors that I told you that were there. And then I'm dabbing in the lips. It's just step by step, I'm kind of trying to figure it out. And I really wanted to do the wrap on the hair. So this is why I chose this skin tone for this, because I believe in my mind that the prettiest wraps are on the darker skin girls, and I just love the way they look with those beautiful wraps on their head. Such a beautiful part of their whole outfit, the dress. So here I am fixing the eyes. I'm actually putting a little bit of browns in them, little streaks towards the eye black. And oh, I think I'm actually putting the whites, a little bit more white there too, and a little dots of... I'm doing that back and forth. I think I have two paintbrushes in my hand at that point. But it's unfortunately a little bit low. So the red I used on her lips, now that I can see that the lips are a little bit red, and you must have missed that, was the cadmium red hue. And I just dabbed that on there a bit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of her forehead on this video. I was trying to make it... I should have been paying less... I guess I was paying more attention of painting her than the video. Oh boy. But I'm going a little bit of black around on the lower lid, or the upper lid, but right in the low part, and then just a little bit of black on her lower eyeline. And then I just finally paint the eyebrows. I do finish them up a little bit again after. And I've got a little dark, I'm doing a dry brush of black around her lips, trying to get very little black on there just to darken it up. And I'm really loving how her face is coming together, and all the little bruises and bumps and everything in her face just add to her character. This is where I was putting the white, and I'm like, no, destroyed it. I'm like, this is not right. So I ended up going back with what I had. It took me a little while to fix it, but look at that, it's not unfixable. I just had to get that color back the way I had it, and I like it. So it took a little while. And like I said, don't put the heat tool on it too long. You don't want to shrink any the styrofoam. So then I'm finishing the back, because I kind of left that to last for the really getting the real dark skin tone on the back. I was really concentrating on the face. I really enjoyed this process. I wish I could slow it down for you guys, but it would take so long. Such a long video. It was quite a long video. So here I'm trying to do the back. Now I'm trying to move the camera so then you guys can see what I'm doing. This is supposed to be the main part of the video. It's about putting the napkin on the styrofoam. So I'm putting my decoupage mat on there and getting that all over to try to make it look like a nice headpiece head wrap. And like I said, I was gonna cover her whole head and make some kind of really fun mixed media piece, but then I just couldn't bear to cover the face in paper napkin, and I thought I made the right choice. Unfortunately, the video is not the greatest quality, but I hope you guys get the gist of it. This took me all afternoon, so it wasn't one of those projects that I could even have put it in slow time and you guys enjoy like a 2-hour video. It would have been longer than that. It did take quite a while playing with her face. So here's the second coat of paper napkin. I did the purpley marbled one as the mane on her head, on the crown and the back and the nape area as much as I could, and then I wanted to have the outer red edge and outer back nape area with this really nice piece of napkin, so to make it look, I don't know, like a real wrap. And then I just added some pieces, torn pieces of this colored napkin to the back to kind of blend it in, so I thought it would suit it better not to be just two different pieces, but I knew I didn't have enough of that to wrap it all the way I wanted it, the texture to be, where it was a little bit more thicker around the edges of the wrap, around her forehead and then around her ears and the nape area, and then I kind of wanted that rough full of material. So that's when I just started to, now see I'm making it thicker, another layer of it. So I had a couple of napkins, but I knew I wanted to make a thicker layer around the edge. Then, like I said, I had a little bit left over to do. There's a few spots there, see, in the back and that kind of thing that I wanted to add. And I think it looked great. Just blends it in a little bit better. They still had some of the similar colors in the two different napkins, but I think this helped work it. Then I just kind of want to touch it up a little darker on the edges, just like when you're doing a mixed media piece and you're doing the edges a little bit. I was darkening it up and doing her eyebrows, or eyelids again a little bit darker. But see how around the wrap I have it just a bit darker? I want to touch that up and play with it, play with it. I do have some pictures at the end, so I hope you guys will enjoy that. I am so sorry the way the video went. I wish I had different angles of camera and I had a proper way of kind of pulling away. I kept trying to pull I put some eyelashes on her. I kept trying to pull the camera back a bit, but because it's attached to my light, it was just getting worse lighting. So these are my old eyelashes I used to wear once in a while when I go out, and I have a couple of pairs, so I donated one of these pairs to her. I thought it would be great. It looks so cute. I loved it. So I used white glue, tacky glue, and I just glued them down. And I loved it. I used the A-Leads tacky glue and it worked perfect. Oh, I think I'm a little high. So what I did here on, you can't see it. Oh, I moved it. I put a little Elaine's glue on my brush there that I have, and I just put above and below the eyelash, so then it would be nice even coat of it. Then I found these nice loop earrings. I bent the pointy ends that go into your ear towards her scalp, the styrofoam, and then I just glued with tacky glue both ends in the back and see the front, and then I held them there for a while, and they are actually nice and solid in there, and I love it. So here is the picture of her front, and I absolutely love how she turned out. I wish I could have showed you a better video, but I hope you guys kind of get the inspiration anyway. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.